Hey everyone, Tony Gentilcore here in Brookline, Massachusetts at my studio Core, and today I want to discuss briefly a little bit of squat technique and just a common mistake. Not that this is a mistake, because there's more than one way to coach the squat, and really what it comes down to is figuring out someone's anatomy, figuring out what feels good for them, what their goals are. But I think lately gone are the days where we're cueing people to sit back in the squat and making more of the squat looking like a squat. So what we've seen in the last 10-15 years in a lot of articles are articles written by powerlifters who wear gear, and that's completely fine, but a lot of lifters don't wear squat suits. So cueing them to do a squat where they sit back doesn't work well. And what I would rather see is the squat look like a squat. So rather than cueing someone to break with their hips back, it's almost a simultaneous break with the knees and the hips at the same time. And Chad Wesley Smith talks about this a lot at Juggernaut training. And it's something that I've adopted in recent years, and think that I think it works for a lot of people. So basically what we want to do is when we do our squat setup, instead of thinking of sitting back, we want a simultaneous break of the knees coming forward and the hips going back. So the objective is to squat down. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, is another thing that Chad talks about a lot is foot pressure. So when you're standing up here with the barbell, you want to feel your weight evenly distributed between the front and back. So the barbell is right over midfoot, and you want your weight in midfoot. So when you descend into the hole, if people go too far into their toes, their heels are going to come off the ground, and if they sit too far back, oftentimes the toes come up. So when we get into that deep squat position here, you want to maintain foot pressure in that midfoot. So if you get it up here with the barbell and you find it, as you squat down, you want to make sure that you keep that even weight distribution, that foot pressure, and then when you come out of the hole, it isn't so much sitting back as it is using your quads and driving the back of your head up to the ceiling. So it's a slight modification, but I do find it works well for a lot of natural lifters, which is pretty much a lot of people, and it just gets people to realize that this isn't necessarily a squat. It's great if you want to lift a ton of weight, it's great for power lifters, but a lot of people aren't power lifters, so instead of thinking back, you want to think simultaneous knee break forward and hips back, so you go down, but keeping that weight evenly distributed on the feet the whole time through. And the bar path will kind of take care of itself. If your setup is on point, the barbell's over midfoot, and when you descend down into that hole, the barbell should stay right there. So your weight distribution is going to kind of give you the feedback that you need to make the squat look like a squat. So again, with the barbell, just so everyone can see, not this. You want to think abs down, brace, pull down on the bar, and break with the knees and the hips so it's straight down, and keep that even weight distribution in the middle of your foot. So you don't want to be too far forward like so, and you don't want to be too far back to the point where you sit your hips back and you tend to dip forward. So that's my preference. I'm not saying everyone has to do that. There are many successful ways of coaching the squat, but again, I want the squat to look like a squat. I want people to use their quads a little bit more, and I think it works well for a lot of people. So hopefully that clears the air a little bit, and it resonates, and give it a try yourself and let me know what you think.